Right, so as discussed like yesterday, I wanted to lower the risk size so I can focus on just making the trades because I've been just over trading, over trading, over trading. So I went back down to 20 shares. I'm trading 20 shares of the QQQ now. And then I entered to the sell side based on what I saw from the dollar at the moment that I entered. So I didn't use a limit order or a stop order at this time, market order based on what I was seeing from the dollar. And I'll show you what I was seeing on the day and also where I entered and exited on the QQQ. It was a good trade. It was like a 2 to 1 risk reward, right? So let's get into it, right? So here we have the only win for the week, guys. I entered at 10:33 on the QQQ. So this was right around here, 10:33 at 357. Perfect. 357. So I entered right there and then I close it out at 12:03. And I'm gonna just mark these and then show you what it looks like on the dollar. You know what I'm actually gonna do? I'm gonna mark these levels on the dollar as well, since it's one trade and we have more time working with. So I close it at 298.17, and I want to see if the dollar kind of reflect this move. 298. 298.17. Okay, perfect. So this is the QQQ. I caught this move to the downside. My stop loss was actually at 302. So it was above this level. Looking at this trade, it's like if I can see something like this, like a level where my stop loss is still kind of tight and I can pick a direction, that might be the optimal strategy. So I had my stop loss here because I could see that the market wasn't able to break this level. Inversely, you could have had a stop loss here, right? And took it to the buy side. But I guess at the time when I looked at the market and I decided to enter the trade, I decided to go to the sell side, and I'll show you what I was seeing on the dollar, right? So on the dollar, I entered. It's hard. It's hard to say, huh? But I just marked the 10:30 candle and 10:30 candle and the 12 o'clock candle. And the 12 o'clock candle might have been where we hit this level. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, the dollar kind of showing you bullish movement here. So the dollar is bullish, so that means you can take the SPY bearish. So people say that the dollar and the QQQ aren't like directly related, but you can see it, right? You can see it. And as soon as the dollar hit this resistance level, it kind of didn't break above it. As you can see, it played with this level 3 times, 3 touches. Right, so you have 3 touches of this level, and then it kind of broke down. This would have been bullish for the QQQ because it shows that the dollar doesn't have the strength to keep going up, which means you don't have a lot of sell pressure on the QQQ. You not having that much sell pressure on the QQQ would mean that the buyers can actually step in and push up the market and actually clear out those who probably entered to the sell side. Because imagine you have your sell position here, right? And you move your stop loss to probably somewhere here. As soon as the market reverses, you thinking it would have continued down, it came and just hit you out at your stop loss. Yes, you might have made a little money, maybe $5, maybe $50, a lot less than what you would have expected if the market had continued trending down. Initially, I had my stop loss right here at 29614. However, I didn't see that strength from the market. I know sometimes I may have a problem where it's like I don't hold the trade as it continues, but in a situation like this, you can see why I do things like this because sometimes the trade just doesn't do it. Sometimes the trade just doesn't have that strength to push you down, right? But that's all, and that's all that happened today. So I entered here to the sell side, closed it here for a $45 profit. The reason for the small amount of profit was because I'm trading a small amount. If I was doing 100 shares like I usually do, I would have probably made $250 probably about that. I would say $250. But that's how it goes. I'm gonna go smaller until I see more consistency. Obviously I got over confident, and that's something I'm definitely going to have to work on. I'm being more disciplined when I'm trading smaller share size. So I just have to be a lot more disciplined, you know? Just be a lot more disciplined and just stick to that. All in all, it was a great day. Let's check out what Bitcoin did today. Today we had something called consumer sentiment as well. We can also check that out. Let me just see what they said about it. Consumer sentiment today, and we're just gonna use CNN's report. So Bitcoin, same movement. You can see that if you're trying to like use the dollar to probably trade Bitcoin, there might have been some opportunity there. When did it fall off? At 10. So you could have entered same place where I entered, which would have been around 10:05, I think, right? And then you'd have to have your stop loss above here and take it to the downside. As soon as you see this, you could probably just get out or get out around here, right? So it's same thing with Bitcoin, same thing. I love this. But let's look at what they said about the consumer index today, consumer sentiment to 13-month high. Strong jobs, lower inflation push consumer sentiment to 13-month high, right? Easing inflation and strong labor market are helping consumers feel better about the economy this month, right? I haven't listened to anything about this today, so I don't have a lot of insight. Just gonna read you what they're saying. So HSU, who is a director of the University Survey of Consumers, as long as consumers still believe that their incomes are going to remain strong, I think that will continue to lift consumer sentiment and their willingness to spend. So consumers are still willing to spend. Consumers are not pulling back because of tight financial conditions. Consumers are still out there feeling good about the economy, feeling good about their wages, willing to spend, or do they not have a choice, right? It depends though. It depends what they could be spending on. They can be spending on like um consumer, what do you call it? Discretionary. So things that they don't really need, so they're not necessities, they're not spending it on housing, rent, utilities, food. They're spending it on things that just enhance their lives a bit, like comfort. You'd say probably Netflix is a consumer discretionary thing. Tesla, they consider discretionary as well. Stocks can be discretionary because they're not your necessities, like food, shelter, and I don't remember the other one. Food, shelter, something else. But that's all today. So the survey also showed that consumers are expecting inflation to remain high in the near term. 1 year inflation expectations increased to 4.2% from 3.9% in January. Gas prices are rising in recent weeks, likely contributed to that rebound. Long run inflation expectations held steady at 2.9. So consumers expect inflation to stay up. The consumer is generally wrong. So maybe we shouldn't use that as a hallmark. Maybe the Fed has it down. Maybe they don't. Well, let's see what happens. And also, I want to even go into something. Let's do something. Let's go to Michael Burry's tweets because not a lot of people focus on this guy, but this guy know what he's saying. Even though he might like push stocks down, you know, he might push stocks down. If you want to check it out, you look at Burry Archive. So it seems that this archive tweets his tweets, right? So he had a tweet about sell. When was this? January 31st. So some people say Michael Burry was wrong when he said on January 31st to sell. But let's check it out because it's been 9 days into October. So we can even put the QQQ on the large screen and just check that out. Hey, let's check out the QQQ since January 31st. February 1. So he was wrong about that actually. But it can be a lagging indicator because if you have a lot of selling pressure, buyers can come in and step in, try to knock you out. Depends where you have your stop loss. It depends what bigger trade you're making. But look at this. Look at this. This is bearish. I'm not gonna lie to you. This day, very bearish. Why? You had no rebound. You had complete indecision. Like from a candlestick pattern, this is bearish, right? So these candles are bearish, 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 bearish. Anything that shows you like these, complete indecision, they're generally bearish, right? And this was the trade on today, and this was a daily candle. So let's see how Monday opens. Monday might have a bearish open coming right down here, right? Beer. I'm not even gonna mess up my chart because you know it's all pretty, it's all beautiful, you know. It's all beautiful with the lines. Let's see what happens. Where do we look like we're going from here? We're coming, found a bottom, double bottom, bottom again, coming up. We kind of found a top here. Yeah, played with the same top. I'm gonna let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. You know, I'm gonna be trading it on a day to day as well. So just keep up for that video, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy weekend, guys.